This is Eric from Pack Hacker, and today we're taking a look at the Genki Covert Dock Mini for the Nintendo Switch, which I've been testing for the past 2 weeks. If you find this video helpful, make sure you subscribe so we can continue making content like this to help you travel smarter. Let's dive in. So I'm sure by this point, most of you know what a Nintendo Switch is. You've seen one, you've probably even played one. The biggest draw for me for a Nintendo Switch is just how portable it is. Like, you can take it literally anywhere. Take it on a bus to work, you can take it on a train, a plane, an automobile. You can take it literally anywhere. But one kind of big bummer is that the dock is not portable. So I've got the dock here. We're gonna get into this a little bit later. It's not very portable and it's not very durable. You can see it kind of like could collapse a little bit there. So unless where you're going has a dock, you have to bring your dock or you're just stuck in handheld mode. But that's where the Covert Dock and the Covert Dock Mini come in. So this is the Covert Dock Mini, which is newer than the original Covert Dock. It's very, very small. I'd say it's about half the size, maybe a little bit less than, or a little bit more than half the size of the original Covert Dock. And it's just so small that you can take it pretty much anywhere. And to compare it to the cable that it comes with, it's smaller than the cable that it comes with. But when we're talking about durability firsthand, it's made from like a hard plastic. No issues with durability so far. It's just been rolling around in my backpack and also in my, I won't want to call it a tech case, but just like a little organizer that I have. No issues with durability. This front part here does get a bit smudged up. Like if I just like rub my finger across there, you can see that like the print is on there and all that. So it does get smudged up, but if you just like rub it with your shirt, pretty much all of that goes away pretty quickly. It looks like there's a little hair on there now. But there are a couple scratches on that front face too, but to be honest, that doesn't bother me at all. On the front, you can see we obviously have an HDMI port and then a USB-C port. So basically what you do is you have this included cable. You can use any cable that you want, so long as it is a USB 3.1 cable. So if you don't have a 3.1 cable, it's not going to work to have the audio and video go from your Switch to the TV. So you need to have a 3.1 cable. This cable is 6 feet and it is pretty durable, which I like, but it is pretty big, as you can see, compared to the dock. So you run this from your Switch on this end, and then I like that it has this like little right angle, so it kind of keeps it out of the way. But if you're trying to like run the cable straight up or straight down from wherever the plug is, it's not super well made for that because it can just go to the left or to the right. But so yeah, you plug this into your Nintendo Switch and then you use an HDMI cable to run from this to the TV or the projector or whatever it is you want to plug it into, and then you plug in the back to the wall. So because of the Nintendo Switch's battery, you're not going to lose power while you're playing. I did notice sometimes with some games, it didn't seem like it was charging very fast at all. Like maybe it was even like staying idle and not going up or down. But I didn't ever notice it going down while I was using it, which I think obviously is a perk. But you do get 4K output out of this thing, which is something that you did not get on the original Covert Dock. You just got 1080. And that's nice, but to be honest, from the Nintendo Switch, I don't really notice it anyways. It's not like you're really playing it for the amazing graphics. But overall, very happy with what you can do with this thing. And there are people who have used this for other things as well. There are people who are using them for their Steam Decks. And I even saw a comment, someone was like using it with an iPad to mirror it onto their TV. So I haven't tried that. I just used it as a Nintendo Switch dock because that's what it's used for. And it really does well on that. And as you can see, it is tiny, which we're going to talk about more now. So when it comes to packability, obviously this is a ton, oh, missed it on the camera there. This is a ton smaller than the standard Nintendo Switch dock, but you are going to need probably a longer HDMI cable, because when you're going somewhere new, you go into a hotel or Airbnb, you don't necessarily know how far away a plug is going to be from the TV. I mean, obviously if the TV's plugged in, you know it's not super far away, but you might not have a plug available, or you might have to like run a longer cable. So the HDMI cable has to be able to run from the plug, this thing, all the way to the TV or the projector or whatever you're plugging in. And HDMI cables are typically a bit thicker. I know they make some more minimalistic ones than a USB-C cable. So the Nintendo Switch dock kind of acts as like a middle point because you're going wall to this and then to TV. So it's kind of like one long strand, whereas this needs to go all the way from the wall to the TV. So an HDMI cable can take up a bit of room there. And that's obviously not going to make it bigger than this, but it's something to think about. So we've already gone over size, but there are some other important comparisons to make between this dock and the standard one. On the standard one, we have the USB-A, so you can attach different accessories, whether you like to play with a wired controller or what have you. This does not have a USB-A, so you can't use like the wired Ethernet adapter, you can't use a wired controller. The larger Genki Covert Dock does have one, but that one is larger and you're not getting the 4K. So if you have a wired controller, I feel like you're more likely to care about 4K. So that is something that I think is important to talk about. And in comparison with not necessarily just this dock, but I remember when the Switch came out, there were a ton of these on the market. So like if you went on Amazon, there were like 30 of them and like everybody was buying them because they were so much smaller than this dock. But what a lot of those docks did is they ended up frying the battery on your Nintendo Switch. And that obviously was not good. Nobody wanted to have their battery fried. And obviously we've only been using this for 2 weeks, as I said in the intro, but I've seen I really tried to like have a, look to see if there was a difference in how my battery life was just using it without it plugged in before and after using this dock, and I haven't noticed anything. And I've done a ton of research online to make sure that nobody had any instances of this frying their battery. So I can say with a lot of confidence that this isn't going to fry your battery. And that's one of the obviously most important things. You want your Switch to be usable once you get home and return to this dock. So there you have it, the Genki Covert Dock Mini for Nintendo Switch. Thanks for keeping it here at Pack Hacker, your guide to smarter travel. We'll see you in the next one.